Welcome to this Miles by Foot tour of Indiana's regional airports. 4 airports have scheduled passenger service in the Hoosier State, the largest of which is Indianapolis International Airport in the state's center. If you've ever driven across Indiana, you know he's a long boy, about 320 miles from tip to tail, so it's helpful for Hoosiers to not have to drive for hours just to fly. Today's tour covers Indiana's 3 regional airports, Evansville, Fort Wayne, and South Bend. And next week we'll cover Indianapolis, so make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications to stay connected as we start this new adventure together. I'll also include information for visiting plane spotters. Let's explore. Our first stop is Evansville Regional Airport, code EVV. EVV lies 6 miles northeast of the city along Indiana Route 57, just a few miles from the Ohio River and Kentucky on the other side. EVV is the smallest commercial airport in the state, serving about 900 passengers each day in 2021, and it's the only one that uses Central Time, so keep that in mind if you're traveling from the east. For a small airport, it's quite modern, with solar panels covering much of the parking area, an updated terminal, and more services being added each year. American and Delta both use their regional operators to connect travelers to their hubs. Delta flies to Atlanta twice a day through its Delta Connection partners and once a day as a mainline service as of June 2022, EVV's only non-regional service. Delta normally offers a Detroit service too, but it's on hiatus for a spell. Evansville offers flights on American's regional partners to Dallas-Fort Worth 3 times daily and to Charlotte twice a day. Like Delta, American suspended service to its northern hub, Chicago O'Hare, in spring, likely to return soon. Allegiant has built a presence here too, with 2 weekly flights to Orlando Sanford year-round, as well as summer flights to Destin. United historically served Evansville, but stopped during the pandemic and hasn't returned since. Delta utilizes A gates to the left after passing through security, and American and Allegiant use B gates to the right. There's a waiting area between baggage claim and security, with vending machines and a kiosk to order from an airside restaurant while you wait. You can wave to your arriving family, friends, or strangers too if you want, through an airside window, a feature I don't see much these days. Baggage claim and rental car counters are to the right as you leave the airside, and rental car lots and pickups for ride shares, taxis, and local shuttles are also outside to the right. Plane spotting at EVV is pretty good for an airport this size. The airside window gives you surprisingly close views of several gates, and outside you're on a bit of a rise above the apron for a better vantage point. With about 20 commercial flights in and out a day, you might have to wait a bit between landings and takeoffs though. Delta's daily Boeing 717 to Atlanta is the largest daily scheduled aircraft you'll see at EVV. Its single runway is aligned to the terminal, making for good spotting for most aircraft movements. Parking is free up to 4 hours, which makes the decision to visit all the easier. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised when arriving at EVV, and I was pleased with the layout and design of the terminal and the airfield too. Let's get on I-69 and head to our next airport 260 miles away on the other side of the state. We're passing Indy's airport for now as we drive to the state's second largest city and 4-time All-American City Award winner Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne International Airport, code FWA, is usually the state's second busiest airport, more on that later, located 7 miles south-southwest of the city proper off I-469. FWA has regional service on all 3 major carriers, as well as a growing offering from Allegiant to vacation destinations all over the country. American has the largest presence at FWA, with 2 daily flights each between Indiana and their hubs at Charlotte, Dallas, and O'Hare, and a flight each morning to Philadelphia. Delta connects Allen County to Atlanta 3 times a day, the airport's most frequent service, and they provide daily service to Minneapolis and nearby Detroit, whose 130-mile flight, wheels up to wheels down, averages just 25 minutes. United connects to O'Hare twice daily, once around sunrise and once around sunset. Allegiant offers 7 summer destinations flown different times during the week. Clearwater flies 4 times a week, while Orlando Sanford, Myrtle Beach, and Punta Gorda have 3 flights a week to choose from. Twice a week, you can fly to Sarasota or out west to Las Vegas or Phoenix Mesa. Near security, there's a display highlighting local achievements and aviation. And there's even a truck for sale if you're in the market. Plane spotting at FWA is a challenge. There's not a great place to spot, and the airside terminal is designed in such a way that you can't see much ground traffic. The most used runways and vectoring for landings don't allow for those great shots. The terminal has been undergoing an expansion and modernization project for the last year, and work will continue until about 2026. When I was here this past March, the paint was still drying on their first edition, new check-in counters for American, but there's still a ton to do. The terminal is in a state of undress. Traffic outside was being rerouted as they rebuilt entrances, and I couldn't get the nice pristine shots I like. In the end, I couldn't give FWA a fair shake. Still, the new expansion will fully modernize an airport whose traffic is only growing. For travelers, though, FWA now and in the future offers great promise for easy connections to your next adventure. I look forward to coming back once everything's finished. A 90-minute drive in torrential spring rain gets me to the last airport of today's tour, South Bend International Airport, code SBN, just 3 miles south of the Michigan border. Home to collegiate powerhouse Notre Dame and historical automaker Studebaker, South Bend is the second or third busiest airport in Indiana, depending on when you ask. It trades with Fort Wayne almost every year for second place, with early 2021 data suggesting SBN is actually second. This similar passenger load creates similar destination profiles. Delta and United fly the same routes as FWA, and just about as often, and American flies to Charlotte and Dallas. Even Allegiant has a similar schedule, flying to all the same destinations except Myrtle Beach. These airports are totally different, though, both in form and function. South Bend's airport isn't in the process of a modernization, for one thing, and to be honest, I kinda hope they don't. SBN feels like a regional airport you'd have gone to 30 years ago, and in a world of recently updated and homogenized airports, SBN stands out to me. Upstairs in the terminal center, you can sit and listen to live air traffic control chatter, or explore photo displays of the airport's interesting role in the region for the last few decades. While there is a large window, the most recent airside terminal upgrade pretty much blocks the view of the airfield. Still, I can recommend SBN on vibes alone. What makes South Bend stand out for everyday travelers are the intermodal options. South Bend is the eastern terminus of the South Shore Line, an interurban train that travels between South Bend and Chicago's Millennium Station right off Michigan Avenue. The express service makes the entire journey in under 2 hours. The South Bend Chicago service first ran in 1909, one of the longest continuously running interurbans in the country, and one of the only ones left. The station for the South Shore Line is directly connected to the terminal. Walk out to the left after you leave security and you're on the platform. While a lot of hub airports promise access to light rail or a subway, rarely is connecting so easy. No confusing directions or protracted walks with your roller bag down long tunnels. The service connects several urban centers between South Bend and Chicago, including Michigan City, Portage, Gary and its general aviation airport, and Hammond, as well as a dozen other stops along the way. With just one train ride, anyone along the route can walk in and fly to a dozen destinations from SBN. Historically, the airport also served Greyhound and other interstate bus services, but those services migrated downtown in 2019. In case they ever return, though, the bus platforms are to the right after returning landside, past the baggage claims and the cafe. You can catch the number 4 Transpo bus to downtown South Bend outside the far end of the terminal to the right as you leave the airside, about once every 30 minutes. Rental cars are down this way too. For your convenience, rental car operators provide key drop boxes in the vestibule at the far end of the concourse. Spotting in SBN is a mixed bag. The way the terminal is designed doesn't give much of a view, but going to their mini museum and listening to ATC is a nice consolation. Moreover, you can train spot instead. Each of these 3 airports serves a particular local need, and some have a broader scope than just the cities and towns that surround them. I'm glad I got to visit each one. Evansville is neat and tidy, Fort Wayne is ambitious and growing, and South Bend is nostalgic but well connected. Something to make an airport nerd like me happy any day of the week, rain or shine. If you liked this video, please remember to like it and subscribe if you haven't already. This is the start of another trip, and it's my goal to have a new video every week. I'd love it if you followed along. Next week, we'll look at Indianapolis's airport, busier than the other 3 airports combined nearly 5 times over. Then we take to the skies to our next airport. Until then, thanks for watching, and keep moving forward.